Hello and welcome to GameRomp Easy Mode, a chill video game podcast where my wife and I talk about all sorts of dumb games and stuff we've played. And
hi, I'm the wife.
Deanna, that's you.
I have to include my name.
And I'm David. We're going to talk about last week and some things that popped into my mind, and whatever you want to talk about too.
Well, luckily this week I actually have a game to talk about, so.
Yeah, me too, I guess.
Is it not the same ones as the last couple of weeks?
Technically, yes, but I ended up finishing one.
Oh, there is one thing I do want to bring up before I forget. So, the episode we're recording right now is going to be number 26.
Okay.
There's, 52 weeks in the year, right?
Yeah.
That means we're halfway through a year.
Wow.
Doesn't that mean 6 months we've been doing this?
I guess, yeah.
So I'd like to think that's a pretty decent milestone, because I kind of forgot to bring it up for the 25th episode. So.
No, that's fine. 26. It's hard for me to keep track of what the numbers are. I'm actually surprised it's that high.
Yeah.
Well, good. Let's just keep at it then.
Yeah, guess we'll see where we are in another 6 months.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll still be at it. I want to do more. Not just podcasts, but more with the YouTube as well. Maybe
that's tricky because video editing is a lot harder than this.
We'll see. Anyway.
We have some big thoughts coming up, so.
Big thoughts, plans, and just gotta find the time and energy.
Big concepts.
So, I guess you had a game.
Oh yeah, I guess I could.
Did you not play that before? I could have sworn
I did, but again, I wanted to replay it a little bit in the sense of I would actually remember more of the game when I was talking about it now, so.
Yeah, because I remember when the last time you played it, you met Geralt, the Witcher.
Yeah.
Anyway, what is the name of the game?
So, the game I played for a second time, just to reiterate, is Potion Craft. It's one of those, you own a potion shop, basically.
Yeah.
There's not too much backstory behind it, you just have the shop.
You're like that lady in Whiterun. Sorry.
No, it's funny, I'm just trying to think of Whiterun.
In Skyrim.
Yeah.
I always go there to just dump all my ingredients for money.
Oh, yeah, okay, the one next to the...
Bellathor.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. It was just I had to remember where Whiterun and then the potion lady. Yeah, I gotcha. So, yeah, basically. But you don't really... So it's like a yes and a no, because you own the potion shop, but you mostly just work in flowers and mushrooms, and sometimes if you decide to buy a gem from the dwarf. But you don't deal with things like, cat claws and dragonflies and bees and stuff like that. So half and half. So you have your bedroom that's on the top floor in the attic, if you will. And then you have your main room, which is where you create the potions, but creating the potions is you crush the flowers or the mushrooms in the mortar and pestle. Then you put it in the cauldron and swish it around. So you do have that interaction of the potions. Mm-hmm. But the other aspect is that you're working off of this map in a way. So you start with the potion that has nothing in it in the middle of the map. And you can see there's kind of I guess you would almost call it the fog of war except for potions.
Okay.
Because it's hidden. So you have to add a flower. And say the flower moves to the right in this predetermined...
It's an abstract thing, like a thought, not an actual...
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to fight. I'm just saying, it's covered. You can't see where you're going until you go in that direction. And then it slowly fades away. And then you can see you go around the map and you're trying to mix the ingredients so that you can reach experience points. And then you have this little section. It'll show, a bottle and a question mark. And if you get your bottle with its ingredients to reach that other bottle, it'll make that potion. I'm probably not explaining this well. It's kind of hard. I don't know how else to explain it. You add the ingredients, and the ingredients have a predetermined path that they go on, and they'll go in that direction.
Okay, hold on. you're adding ingredients in your shop, but you're also traveling a map at the same time.
No. You're adding ingredients in in the cauldron, but there's a map that you're working off that shows what direction the potion is working in.
Oh, it's an abstract map. It's not like
Yeah.
you're literally walking through a forest or something.
No, you're not moving. The potion is moving. And depending on where in the map, there's different potions whose ingredients will get them to, like, a fire potion or a sleeping potion. It's just...
Okay.
I don't know. It's a map, but it's for the potion. It's not for you.
Yeah, it's not like something's moving around the world. It's kind of like just a drawing.
Yeah, it's a different way of figuring out which ingredients and how far you move the ingredients by swishing them in the cauldron. And then if you add water, that's like bringing it back to the central location where the potion started. But sometimes you need to do that in order to get the potion. So if you like barely touch the potion icon to the potion icon to the potion icon, I don't know.
Thrilling.
Oh, see, this is where visuals would help because I communication is fucking hard for me, okay?
No, it's fine. It's just such an abstract concept that it's hard to talk about, which is why maybe this would be a great game to make a video about if you wanted to.
Yeah, or maybe we should play these games together so that while I'm explaining it to you.
This isn't really my kind of game.
Oh, Fongo. Yeah, I guess.
I mean, would you want to sit here and watch me play some of my games?
I mean, if it would help you explain what the basic concept gameplay loop would be, maybe.
I think we get it. You're making potions. There's a little mini game. We don't have to know the precise details of how the thing works. It's just that you're playing this little game, doing this activity to make potions, and then what happens when you have the potion?
Well, then you go to your store, which is the next screen over, and random people will come in, and sometimes they will ask for potions that do good things, like maybe they just need a healing potion or they want more dexterity, and either you already have that potion, you can sell it to them straight away, or you go back to your room, you create the potion that they want, and then you sell it to them. But you can also haggle with the people, which is another little mini game, and it's just like, I wouldn't call it a rhythm game necessarily. It's just a bar, and you just hit the space bar in time with the activities. I guess you're talking with them or something. It's pretty basic. I usually stay with the easier ones because I've tried harder ones, and then if you fuck up the haggling, you end up paying them more. Or they pay you less, whichever. Yeah. Well, you can also buy. There will also be merchants that come in. Like, there's an older guy, he sells mushrooms. There's a younger girl who also sells mushrooms, but like flowers and herbs and stuff.
I have a question. Are these real world mushrooms and flowers?
Well, there's one called the sulfur shelf, and it's orange. Can you guess? It's one that we've actually been looking for in real life.
Chicken of the woods?
Yeah, it basically looks like chicken of the woods, but it's called a sulfur shelf. So I guess you could say that one is based on a real mushroom, and maybe some of the others are as well, but I think they're all fake names.
Gotcha. That's probably the safer way to go.
Yeah, that way people aren't like, oh, I can do this in real life. Like, no, not necessarily. And then, where was I? There's also a dwarf that comes in, and he comes from the mines because, of course, and he sells these really powerful crystals, but of course, because they're so powerful, they're really, really expensive.
So you're putting rocks into your potions too?
I mean, I guess you could say that.
Weird.
I mean, you're crushing them up usually. I don't know, it's fantasy. Why wouldn't you put rocks in a potion?
I don't know. It just seems like, I guess it's a drink, so it doesn't matter, but...
I know, you'd think rocks and minerals are gonna slice up your throat, but...
Or crunch up your teeth. I don't know, that's weird. I'd rather...
But then, there's all these mushrooms, and they're probably not... I mean, there's, you can make a poison potion, so... There's, poison, and then there's things like acid and stuff. Explosions. There's all sorts of things, so it's not just health potions.
Oh, so you can make,
You can make quote-unquote bad things, too.
Like a grenade?
I guess you could call that the explosion one. Sure, why not? And another thing about the game is that there will be customers that are quote unquote bad people, that they'll be like, one of the first customers I got in is like, I need some poison, don't ask me about it.
I remember you talked about this last time, yeah.
Oh, I did talk about this?
Yeah, that like you don't have to sell to all the bad people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So when I restarted the game again, I wanted to get over the fact that like I could deny the guy that comes in like almost immediately asking for poison and saying, don't ask me about it. I was like, no, get out. So I've been building up my reputation in the good way. And it's funny, if you start building it up enough, the little icon shows like a little happy face and it's got like angel wings on it. So I guess there's always a time that I could restart a new game and start taking my reputation to the bad side and seeing what comes from that.
Would you want to, or did you finish it?
Oh, God, no. I've only played this game for another 2 hours, so...
Oh, I thought you had beat it or something.
Oh, God, no. There's actually... So in the games, there's like... I wouldn't call them achievements because it's not popping up achievements like for Steam or anything. But you go through chapters, and each chapter has like this whole list, this to-do list, if you will. And doing each thing on the list will get you more experience. And then finishing the whole chapter will get you like, I think, 1,000 experience. I don't know if it goes up higher with subsequent chapters. I think I've finished 2 chapters so far. I only have 2 things to do for chapter 3, and then I have that finished. I think there's 5 or 6 chapters. I could be wrong, but... So you're basically going through a to-do list. If you finish those chapters, I don't know if that necessarily means that you end the game or not. And another thing of the game is underneath your potion shop, like say in the basement, because you go down, is this like alchemy machine. So there will be another, I guess you'd call him more of an alchemist, not necessarily just potion maker. He'll come in and he can sell you papers so you can save more recipes. But he'll also come in at some point with the blueprints for the alchemy machine, because when you go down in the basement initially, it's broken.
Okay.
So you buy the blueprints from him, you fix it up, and then you'll find, I guess you get like the first free recipe, if you will, to make like this special crystal, I don't know. And you have to match up specific type of potions and put them in the right section. And then once you get all the potions set, the machine will create like a crystal for some reason. I don't know what the reason for the crystal is, I'm just saying.
The byproduct.
Sure. Now the first recipe is pretty easy because it's just getting level 3 of one specific potion. So there's like a potion where you need level 3 of defense and a level 3 of, I think sleeping is another one, strength. I'm not sure if health is in there.
Okay, here's a question.
Yeah.
When somebody comes to you and they tell you they need a potion or whatever,
Yep.
do they tell you exactly what they need? Like, I need a potion of 5 defense and 4 electric or whatever. Or do they give you like a vague thing? Like, I need a potion that'll help me do this.
Yes and no. So there's kind of both types. There'll be the ones that are very basic and they'll be like, oh, I need a health potion. So you can just give them like a weak health potion. They'll buy it. It's fine. Some will say, I will pay handsomely for a stronger potion. So if you can get a level 3 potion and you sell it to them, you make a ton of money. Then there will be people that'll be like, okay, I want this potion. They don't care what level it is. But I had one lady ask, oh, can you put in, I think it was called like a hairy banana in the potion? Because she likes the taste of it. So you can put it in. If you get the hairy banana in there, she'll pay a little bit more. You can put in the hairy banana, and I've given her the potion, and she's like, I'll pay more if it's at least half hairy banana. Okay. But the hairy banana is going to have like a specific trail that it follows, and that trail might not necessarily match up to what potion she wants or needs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I was like, I can put one in for you, but I can't get the whole thing or whatever. So there's like varieties in what they'll want. And yeah, you can be cheap or lazy, and I'll just give them a weak one. Is like, I'll pay more, I don't care, just take this one. Because sometimes you don't have all the ingredients. Sometimes you just run out.
So it's not like really a puzzle figuring out what they need. It's more just crafting it. Like, somebody's not going to come to you and be like, oh, my husband hasn't been feeling well. He's been very lethargic lately. Can you help me?
I mean, there's ones, I would say yes, there's ones like that, because they'll come in and they're like, oh, I need something to open up this tunnel to my village because, a tree fell in front of it. So you give them an explosion one. Another one is like, oh, I found this treasure chest, but the lock, I don't have a key for the lock. What would you recommend or something? So you give them like an acid potion. So they kind of have that too.
Okay, I like that more, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a little bit of everything, to be perfectly honest.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of like the game. I had some trouble or maybe frustration of figuring out how the potion map, schematics, whatever you want to call it, would work out and trying to get the higher levels. And I'm guessing at some point, maybe those crystals in the alchemy machine will allow you to get even higher ranking potions, because right now at the beginning I can only go up to like the strength of 3, if you will, but there's 3 more after that. So I'm assuming at some point you can make like level 6 potions or something. Gotcha. I just have not been able to get to that far yet, but I've only played for like 6 hours, so and that's after 2 games, so I'm not far at all.
Somehow I thought you had played it a lot more. Oh well, it's fine.
Unfortunately not.
We're busy. Yeah. Sort of, sometimes. Not really. I don't know.
Stop ruining the illusion that we're doing things. I enjoy it. I think I get it on sale. I forget if this was the game I bought for $6 on sale or $8, but either way, it's less than $10. So if you get $10 to throw around and you like little crafting games, I would recommend this.
All right, that's cool.
Maybe it's not super cozy like, Stardew Valley gets called a cozy game or something, but I think it's good. Maybe it would be more cozy in the sense of like if you could decorate your shop or decorate your attic loft or whatever.
That's interesting to think about, like what game would count as cozy or not, because yeah.
I think for me at least, cozy would be when you can customize it to how you want.
So when I play Fallout 76 and I'm customizing my camp and making my little cabins with all the knickknacks everywhere, is that cozy?
I suppose you could say that. If you find it cozy, sure.
I mean, you've seen my little cabin. You said it looked cool, so.
Yeah, I mean, I did like how you decorated your cabin. So yes, in Fallout 76, I would definitely count that as cozy.
Partly cozy.
Post-apocalyptic cozy.
Anyway.
So what was your games?
I'm just still playing the Pokemon Ash and Frost and Zelda 2 Remastered.
Boo, you should play new games every week.
No, I don't want to. I want to keep playing them.
I know, but then you have more to talk about. I
mean, I could talk about the Pokemon, like, the story was getting interesting, and, like, there was all this... Oh, there's one really funny part. Okay, so you're... Like I said in the previous episodes, this game takes place in, like, a big city, right? Mm-hmm. And there's these crime families, and each of the crime families are aligned to one of the birds, Moltres, Articuno, Zapdos, right?
I didn't know that part.
One of the crime families, like a top boss, kind of went into like in the old Pokemon games where like the Team Rocket or Team Magma, they like, oh, we're gonna do this and it's gonna change the world, right?
Yeah.
Especially in Team Magma and Team Aqua, where they're like, we're gonna flood the world or whatever. This guy had Moltres, and he's like, we're gonna bring down eternal summer in this city because they're kind of, I guess they're up north and it's very snowy all the time.
They could move.
People were like, that's going to screw up the ecology. It's going to be terrible as nice as warm weather is.
Yeah.
And like in the lore, because this happened in the past, they were reading like the history of the city and like what happened. They're like, luckily, a mute 10-year-old came along and put a stop to his plans.
When a 10-year-old child makes more sense than you are, you done fucked up.
It's funny, like, oh, okay, some little kid, took care of this problem for us. But then, like, there's a current problem happening in the game. And they're like, we can't sit around and wait for a mute 10-year-old to come solve it this time.
Okay, that's cute.
Yeah. Anyway, I've still been enjoying that. And I've gotten, even though the story has picked up quite a bit, I'm back to kind of like detective work. Because there's been, like, an attempted murder at this theater. So we're like investigating like what the motives are.
Is it the president?
Oh, no. No. One of the actresses was targeted, and she almost got crushed by a sandbag on stage.
Oh shit.
So yeah, we're back to investigating. And anyway, I'll just keep playing that. I enjoy it a lot.
Just out of curiosity, which chapter is this? Like, how far along are you?
I don't remember. I think I'm on 8 or 9.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. So I'm not even halfway done, but...
Yeah, really? Holy crap.
That's fine. It's one of those games I'll just play a little bit here and there, because I'm also playing other games. Like, yesterday I had literally just finished Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link Remastered. Is that what they called it? I'm pretty sure it's remastered. It's either remastered or remake, whatever. And it's a game maker studio project,
Ooh.
right? But it is basically Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link.
But better.
Yeah, it plays exactly like it. They got the physics and everything perfect. The game is just, imagine the NES game, except widescreen with a ton of options and a bunch of new stuff to explore and find.
I know this is probably going to sound silly, but the fact that you said, oh, it's a game maker studio, and I'm like, hey. Like, I don't know why I'm happy to hear when Game Maker Studio has, like, really good games made on it.
Yeah, they did a really good job. It's like, if you didn't know any better, you'd think, oh, somehow they just took the NES code and made it better, but I'm pretty sure they built it from the ground up. Well, I mean, using the sprites and stuff, but there's a lot different, too. Like, the world map everything is expanded. The world map, there's more islands and areas to visit. There's new caves and new little locations. Like, one of the first ones you'll notice is in the very beginning of the game when you're playing, like, if you're playing this on the NES, you start in the palace where Zelda's sleeping, right? You can either leave left or right and go out to the world map. But in this game, if you go out right, you go outside and you're, like, in front of the palace and it's still 2D. And then you get to the world map. But if you go left, it's a whole different direction and there's, like, stuff out there. And there's new little areas on the map that weren't there before to find items that weren't there. Like, I think this game kind of starts harder than the NES game, but eventually it gets way easier because there's a lot more heart containers and stuff to find. And there's also a lot of new items.
So, okay, what kind of items? Because, like, again, in the original, you didn't really get new items, did you? You got more, like, magic or something? You
got both. Like, in the original, you would get, one of the first items you got was the candle, and that helps you see in the dark caves or whatever, right? That still exists here, but it kind of works a little different where, like, you got, like, the 2 levels of darkness. The first is when you don't have the candle and it's dark just as it always been. But later on, you'll get the candle, and when you go into a cave, it'll still be dark, but you'll see a little bit, and you'll find, like, things on the background where you can, like, light the candle, and that'll just light it up fully.
Oh, okay. So there's, like, more interaction if you use the candle.
Kinda, yeah. But also, you can, if you have the fire spell, you can just use the fire spell.
That makes sense. I mean, what's the point of having a fire spell if you can't use it in the environment?
So, yeah, the palaces they feel similar, but there's changes to them. Like, I went over that last time, like, oh, there's an outside section to this palace now. There's also, like, well, I wouldn't call them palaces, but there's new, like, ruins and stuff to visit and adventure through. Okay. Like, new secret bosses as well. Like, one of the...
So, new creatures?
I don't think so. There might be... Okay, I beat the game, but there's a new game plus, and there's, like, a section where you can only visit on your second playthrough, so I don't know if there's anything new back there.
Oh, God, it's one of those games.
There is, like... One of the new bosses is this wizard guy. And if you've played the NES game, in one of the castles, there's this wizard, and you have to cast Reflect and just reflect his spells back at him. It's really, really brain dead easy.
Oh, it's kind of like how... Because, like, I haven't really played the original NES games, but I did play Ocarina of Time. Is it kind of like a 2D version of playing tennis back and forth with Ganondorf? Or is it more like you use
in the NES version you would cast Reflect and you would literally just duck and the wizard would always hit your shield and it would bounce back. In this one they changed it so that when the wizard shoots magic at you, it can either be at a standing position or a ducking position, so you have to be careful about that. And also they made the environment a little bit trickier, so like there are some holes where you can't just, be brain dead, because in the original game it was ridiculously easy. But now there's a new version of that boss too later on, because the Japanese version of the game had a different sprite for him.
Oh, okay.
So they're like, oh, why don't we use that? So like later on you'll find
Wait, why did the American version intentionally leave out an additional sprite?
they changed the sprite just to make it a little bit better.
Oh, okay.
So now there's this one part where you find one of the people in the village has the Book of Madura. Madura? It's the book from A Link to the Past, and it helps you read Hylian, I guess.
Okay.
So you'll run into these like monuments that have stuff you can't read, but once you get the book, you can figure out how to go into those little areas. And one of them has that secret boss where he's like, it's the wizard except remixed to be really hard. Well, I mean, I still beat him on my first go, but it's still a lot harder. Like, I almost died. After that, I think the reward for that was a little pendant, and that pendant gives you magic regain.
Oh, okay, that's good.
So, like in the original game, you'd only be able to regain your magic by picking up like potions that enemies would drop, the little blue or red ones. But now with this item, which is kind of late in the second half of the game that you can get it, you'll slowly regain magic. So that's one of the new fun items. Another item is like you'll find the ring from the first Zelda game. And I know that doesn't mean anything to you, but
No, but you said the ring, so I thought of like Lord of the Rings.
in the first Legend of Zelda, there's 2 rings. You can buy one for like almost 250 rubies, and that changes Link's color to red, and it makes him basically take half damage.
Close enough.
So they put that ring in this game. But you have to like, do a side quest to get it. Which is cool, because like normally you would use the magic shield. The magic spell shield. I think it's called shield in the original. In this one, they named it protect. And that would basically, you'd cast that spell and your color would change to red to reflect like, how it was in the original game where you would pick up that ring.
Right.
But now when you have the ring and you're, normally red, when you cast that, you turn blue, which is the color that Link would be when he picked up the second ring in the first game.
Okay.
It's a little touch, but I like it.
I'm sorry, I'm just thinking red, again, Ocarina of Time.
Yeah,
red was fire and blue was for water.
This was defensive stuff. One of the really neat items, and this is a late game thing, like you basically have to make it to the second to last palace before you can get this, but there's a little side quest where you kill these like little orange slimes, and they're like mini bosses. Well, some of them are mini bosses and some of them are like puzzles.
Slimes as mini bosses?
Yeah, they jump around and shoot fire.
Oh, okay.
Some of them do.
So
some
they're
of them
a pain in the asses.
Some of them are literally just a puzzle.
Puzzle.
Yeah, like one of the ones is he's standing in this room, and when you hit him, a bunch of blocks fall. But he's standing next to this basically formation that kind of looks like a slime. So you have to break these blocks to be like a formation of a slime.
Huh.
And once you do that, you solve the puzzle and you beat him.
Does he die?
Yeah, I guess.
Aw, poor slime.
Anyway, there's a bunch of other slimes too. So there's, I think, 12 in total. And once you do that, you get to this new island. And at the end of that island, there's a new sword.
Ooh.
And that sword basically is a little bit longer, which is nice because if anyone's played Zelda 2, they know that Link's stabbing is very short. So this is a little bit longer, but it also has the added benefit of like being able to kill Tektites and the little mermen without having to cast the fire spell.
Now, which ones are the Tektites?
The Tektites are little
things?
jumping spider things.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, I was right.
In Zelda 2, you basically have to cast fire to be able to kill them because you can't kill them with regular stabbing.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah, there's a bunch of new stuff. I'm not going to go into every single new thing, but those are just the hints of a few of the new things.
I have a completely random question.
Okay.
And I don't know if someday you want to make this into its own episode type of thing. But when you said Link can find a book or is given a book or whatever, and it teaches him how to read Hylian, does that mean Link was illiterate, or is Hylian more like the ancient language of the people? Like, Egyptians don't read ancient Egyptian.
I don't know what the language is. That was me just assuming. Maybe Hylian is the native language and the book is a different language or something.
Oh, okay.
Whatever the case is, you come upon these old monuments that have language you can't read. You find the book and you're able to decipher what it says, and that helps you solve the puzzle to get into the little ruins where there's treasures and goodies.
I thought it would be interesting that, like, oh, Link is just... Because, like, again, Ocarina of Time, Link is just, like, this little fairy boy that's, like, not given, but sent to live with the little... Wait,
Yeah. That's the only game where that is the case, but yes.
Yeah. So, like, if he was just, like, a little boy or something and, like, he was illiterate or something, but then, oh, he can just get this book and he magically understands language now or something.
No.
Or written language.
I don't know if there's any other Zelda game that is a direct sequel. I know there's a second Wind Waker game on the DS, but I don't know if that's technically the same Link as the original. I don't think it is. But this is a direct sequel to the first game. This is the same Link that was in Zelda 1.
Oh, okay.
So he's like already a seasoned adventurer or whatever.
Do you think he counts as older in this sequel? Or is it just because the graphics he appears taller even?
Yeah, he's like the same size as an adult that you come upon in the game.
Okay, but like in the first game, he seems shorter because of how the sprites work.
Yeah, and there's not really a whole lot of people in that game either.
Just random thoughts.
But yeah, you can actually, one of the neat little Easter eggs, and this is in the original game as well, at some point during the adventure, you go south past, I forget the name of the city, it might be Rudo. You go into Death Mountain, passing through Death Mountain, which is a bunch of, a series of difficult caves with tough monsters in it. You'll eventually get to the original landmass of The Legend of Zelda 1.
Ooh.
So that's like a neat little throwback.
That sounds like fun, I guess.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, you don't really do much there except get an item, but it's still kind of neat to see it. Because again, this world it's a big world map. It's not just one little like country or segment. It gives you a good sense of scale. Like, oh, this is the original area where the first game took place. And it's like a 20th of the size of this, world.
Yeah.
It's really cool. So yeah, I really like Zelda 2. A lot of people consider it a black sheep, but I think it's a really good game. It's tough, but it's fair. Especially once you level up, like once you get to the end of the game, you have so many magic points and so many spells, and it's really not that hard. I think the original is harder, especially towards the end. Like fighting Dark Link is really tough in the first game, but I found it to be really easy in this game. I don't know if that's because my sword was longer and I had like all this extra stuff, but yeah, it's definitely, if you feel like Zelda 2 was too hard, look up the Zelda 2 remastered, and if you keep plugging away at it, it gets a lot easier.
How many games does Shadow or Dark Link show up in? Because I know that also happens in Ocarina of Time. He didn't seem that hard, though.
No, he was kind of an Easter egg boss in that. In this game, it's basically like, quote-unquote, the final boss, but it's more like a trial at the end, because once you beat the real final boss, before that, you meet this he looks like a little elf, and he's basically the guardian of the Triforce of Courage. So he's like, oh, prove yourself, or whatever. He doesn't say anything, but he makes Shadow Link come out of Link, and then you have to fight him, and then once you do that, he gives you the Triforce. So it's just like this little dude's spell, basically, as a trial. But in this version, it's a lot easier. But it's cool. Like, after you get that, you go back and you wake up Zelda, and they kiss, because it's funny, because in this...
Old tropes.
In this game, there's technically 2 Zeldas.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to get nerdy about the lore...
Sure, why not?
In the original Zelda, you save Princess Zelda from Ganon.
Okay.
That Princess Zelda is the current Zelda. And she's alive and well, and you save her, and she goes off to her palace to do whatever the hell Zelda does, right? But this is still the same Link. This is still the same timeline. This is still, the current era of that Zelda.
Is the one you save a decoy?
The one you save is an ancient Zelda that has been under a sleeping curse for decades or centuries or something. I forget the exact lore. But apparently her brother had been tempted by Ganon or some wizard or something to like steal her Triforce of Wisdom, blah blah blah, so he could have both the power and the wisdom, and so he like cursed his sister to sleep forever. But then he like felt bad about it and was like, oh no, what have I done? So like the lore is, from now on every princess will be named Zelda to honor the princess. Yeah, it's silly, it's whatever, it's an old game with old story.
Yeah. So that means that the Zelda that you wake up in the castle is like the current Zelda's like great grandmother or some shit?
I wouldn't call her a grandmother if she was put to sleep before she could have kids, but yeah, basically the same family line, I guess. But at the end of the game, when you wake up that Zelda, that means there's 2 Zeldas running around this world. So that's interesting. Like, is there going to be a conflict of power there?
Oh boy.
Or is the sleeping Zelda going to be like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this shit.
I'm gonna go back to bed.
I'm going to just hang out and kiss Link. You can have all the political power. It's funny.
Which Zelda wins in that end?
Well, at the end of the game, like even in the original, they're standing in front of each other. They have like their arms out, right? And then the curtain falls. It covers just the top half so you don't see their faces, but you can still see their arms. And their little sprites come together. And it's like, oh, they're kissing.
Wait, the 2 Zeldas?
No!
The 2 Zeldas just start making out.
Oh my god. I'm sure Link would love that, but that's not what happened now. Anyway, after you beat the game, you open up a New Game Plus and you start the game and Zelda's awake and she's like, oh, defeat Link and find this other thing. And she gives you a new item, which is
defeat Link?
Shadow Link.
Oh, gotcha.
Defeat Shadow Link again, and like she gives you an item, and there's like this whole section where you basically need the Triforce to get through. So I don't know if I'm gonna do it because I would have to play through the game again, so maybe not right now.
But you like playing games like forever and repeatedly, right?
Yeah, but I kind of want to play other games too. I mean, a part of me really wants to because I want to see what's behind that secret little wall, and I know the castles, the palaces get remixed. So there's going to be new stuff in those. But at the same time, I would have to collect all the heart containers and stuff again, which I kind of don't want to bother with. You start with all your levels, so I'm max level, and you start with all your spells, but you don't start with all your heart and magic containers. So
right.
It's kind of like, maybe if it started with that too, and like if I still had all the items too, then I wouldn't have to worry about like finding everything again, but I kind of don't feel like doing all that over again right now.
That's fair.
But it was really fun. And finding all the new stuff in the new lands really added to it. Zelda 2 is so unique in the sense of like I said, it has that big open world, right? But it's just like the sense of adventure and all the weird, cool monsters in it. Like there's monsters in this game that just don't appear anymore. Like the alligator dudes. I forget their names, but they're like these alligator dudes that throw axes and stuff, and they're so cool. Like sure, every game.
Is that not the Zulu, the ones from Ocarina of Time? The lizards or
Lizalfos? The
Yeah.
Zalfos are also in this game, the lizard men. But no, these are like alligators.
Oh, okay. I guess there's
differences. There's the little rat dudes with daggers. Have you ever seen little rat dudes with daggers in other games? I think
not in Zelda games.
I think in
but I haven't played
Wind
that many,
Waker, there's
so-
these little demon dudes that kind of look like rats, but they're not the same thing. And then there's like the Gorayas, which are the boomerang throwing dudes. Those are in the first 2 games, but I don't think they're in any of the other games. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember any other Zelda game with the boomerang throwing rat dudes. Then again, you have the Lizalfos. Lizalfos appear in everything. So do the Moblins. Those are the 2 that always come back. Then
They're
there's
fan favorites, I guess.
Then there's like these. You have the bats, which I guess are called Keese in some games, but there's also a version of the bat that turns into like this demon gargoyle fire breathing thing that I'm pretty sure haven't appeared in any of the Zelda games. There's the Dark Nuts, the night dudes. Those have appeared in certain games, but there's also like these bird-headed versions.
You'll have to show me because this isn't.
I know it's
striking anything in my head.
I know because they made a bunch of cool monsters in this game and they just never reused them. Like the final temple has a bunch of these armored knight dudes, but they're not the armored knight that you see like in the early game. They have like bird heads and they can jump around and stuff. And it's like, these are really cool. I bet they would really look cool in 3D, but they just haven't been brought to any of the other games. So go figure.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Oh, well. Then again, like thinking of Breath of the Wild, we have Bokoblins. So they're like little, they're not moblins, they're like little goblin versions of moblins. But then like the moblins in Breath of the Wild have like anteater noses for some reason instead of like the typical bulldog pig face that they have in the old games.
Yeah. So now I gotta question you. What other games do you want to play? So we're not talking about Pokemon and Zelda for 5 episodes in a row.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to change the subject and talk about new games, I have a proposition for you.
Okay, bring it.
It is Halloween-y time.
Oh yeah.
It is the spooky season. Silent Hill 2 has just the remastered or remake, sorry. The remake of Silent Hill 2 has just come out, so everyone is fucking talking about it.
Yeah.
With good reason, because Silent Hill 2 is amazing. What if we tried playing through the original again? Because we have the PC version of Silent Hill 2 is abandonware. You can just get it for free on the internet.
If we can figure out how to get it to work, because we tried that before, didn't
Somebody has, the fans have put out patches. I forget what it's called exactly, but it's basically like Silent Hill 2 Enhanced Edition or something like that.
Okay.
Fans have patched the abandonware version of Silent Hill 2. So we could try playing that together, because I would love for you to like know the full story and see everything. Because I've looked through some of the videos of the remaster, and it's really good. I'm not going to pretend it's not. It looks really good, but there is a few things about the line read, especially one of the most important characters, which is Mary and Maria. Her voice acting, the line delivery is just not perfect like it is in the original game, which is too bad because some of the other characters are voiced a lot better. Like I think Angela in the new version looks and speaks great. You'll see a lot of discourse on the internet.
Oh Jesus!
From the certain community of weirdos who's like, oh no, Angela isn't like a super sexy babe. She should be wearing a bikini or some shit.
Oh God. Well, yeah, I showed you the one of the Spanish dude. So
yeah, that's Angela.
Okay.
But like, ignoring their complaints, I think Angela in the remake looks great. She looks like a normal person. She's got a cute face. She fits the role perfectly. In the original game, Angela looks kind of weird, but that's fine. However, Mary, on the other hand, they did make her slightly less sexy, but that, without getting too spoilery, there's a reason why she was that way.
Well, yeah, I think I have some concept of why, but...
Yeah, so it's kind of a shame that they changed her to be a little less sexy. I don't mind that they changed her outfit, because her old outfit was basically Christina Aguilera's weird pink leopard skirt. But they gave her a new outfit that is like, her new skirt is kind of hot, I guess, but like there's something about the outfit in general that just is less.
It's like a red tinted, not biker jacket, but like denim jacket almost, or something.
Yeah, it feels more casual. It doesn't feel seductive and sultry, which I think is a missed.
It was kind of the point of the character for how this is supposed to be. Yeah,
there are certain points in the game where she is basically trying to seduce James, and it's like, I think you guys went a little too safe on the outfit there. But anyway, I'm not going to get too much into that right now, but maybe when we'll talk about it. Or we can play the game together. I was thinking maybe we can even stream it. Yeah,
we can give that a shot, as long as it works, because I think that was mostly the issues we were having with the controller or something.
Yeah, the controller. Something went wrong with the controller. So I don't mind getting it to run. I'll try to get it to run on my computer, I guess. And I'll figure out the controls, make sure they work before we play it together. And we can like hand the controller on and off.
Yeah, that's fair.
So if you get too frustrated, you don't have to keep playing. Honestly,
as long as I see the story.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Like we could even play it on like combat mode easy, because I don't care. The combat is not what's important here at all, in the slightest. It's the story that I want you to experience. So
that's fair.
Yeah, because that's another thing about the remake. The combat is very different, and it's more action. It's an modern action game, basically, right? It's got like a dodge, which is kind of funny. So when you see like comparisons of like, oh, how this boss fight handled in the original versus how the boss fight is now, it's like night and day. Like, yeah, this is a modern game, and this is goofy as fuck because it's old. But like, that's not really the point of the game. So it'll be, I don't know. I definitely want you to experience the story, especially like the ending and everything.
Okay, and maybe I'll try to look and see if I have any indie games that would fall under like the spoopy Halloween, because there was the demo I tried. I think it's called The Supper New Blood or something. Apparently there might be a first version of this game that obviously I didn't know. It's like an old school like adventure point and click type of thing. And what they showed for the demo was actually not too bad. It's like super cheesy. The story is not as, I don't know if engaging would be the right word. It's not what I assume a good horror game would be, but I don't think it's not trying to be. But the thing that got me about the demo was that the gist of the game is that you're this guy who lives, quote unquote, with his nana, and he owns a like motel on this abandoned road or something. And something happens that's like super ridiculous cliche, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna, judge people by their sins, and then he's gonna eat them and stuff, right? But the thing with the demo is what they gave was good, but there's supposed to be like a cooking mini game with this, so like, you're killing the people and making food with them.
Okay.
But they didn't put the cooking mini game in the demo, which is what I wanted to get to. And it quits the demo before you get to that part, and I'm like, I understand you don't want to give away the whole game, but I feel like the cooking part would be one of the biggest aspects, and they should at least have one cooking game to show you how that works. And I was really disappointed with that.
On the other hand, I'm like, do I really want to play a horror cooking mini game? That sounds kind of...
Well, it's like Cooking Mama, but with brains and stuff.
Well, it's another one of those things. I'd have to see more info, but like it definitely sounds like that's not really the type of game I would play.
Of course it's not. It's an indie game.
So it's like, what's the art look like?
It's just simple drawn things. I'll show you later. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yes, it's not a game you're into.
We'll have to figure out would it be better to live stream or just do a Let's Play for the Silent Hill 2?
I don't know. I think we'll have to probably figure that out after the episode.
Fair enough. There was another game I was thinking about playing, but I didn't want to do 2 horror games in 1 month. Because I've been sitting on Resident Evil 2, the remake, forever. It's in my Steam library. I don't even remember when I got that. It must have been like on a deep sale, and I just never played it. Because I played the original on the PlayStation.
If I had to choose between Silent Hill or Resident Evil, I'd probably pick Silent Hill.
Yeah, that's good, because that's the one I want to play, because it's topical right now anyways.
Not only that, it just seems like a more interesting story where, like, Resident Evil's like, bad corporation does bad things.
Yeah, the story in that isn't really...
At least Silent Hill is like a psychological issue type of thing.
All right, we'll have to figure out when we'll play that. Maybe next week after this episode has gone out.
Yeah, sure. That's probably the best option.
Yeah, so look at our social media or whatever. Maybe we'll...
remember to do that.
Yeah, you're the one that handles all that stuff, so...
Oh my god. Yeah, I know. I'm bad at social media.
She'll inform people, if anyone's listening, if you want to watch. It'll be her sort of first experience with Silent Hill 2, even though I've already played it, so...
And I've watched a lot of those video essays with you, which I know doesn't give away the main part that you want me to see, but...
It'll be interesting to see how you react to everything, yeah. Especially if you are playing. But I'll also take over the controls when it gets frustrating or annoying, yeah. Because it is an old game, and I don't know, that could be fun. It'll give us something new to do.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right. Any last words for this podcast? Not for life in general.
Jesus. No, I think I'm pretty good for everything, game-wise.
Yeah, we're at about a 50-minute mark, and while I can talk about other stuff, I'll just save my thoughts for some other day.
Next time, sweetie.
Keep an eye out for info if we do play Silent Hill.
Yeah, come join us on a stream and talk with us. I don't know.
And if you're listening to this way in the future, then sorry, I guess you missed a stream.
But hey, if it's really way in the future, maybe we've done more streams and it will be more of a weekly thing.
Maybe we'll do after we finish it, like a little spoiler cast talking about the story in depth.
Yeah, sure. That makes sense. We'll put a warning on the episode of that.
Yeah, because Silent Hill 2's story is so good. If you guys haven't played it, you should. Either the remake or just get the Abandonware version on PC for free.
Yeah.
Another little frugal tip from me to you. Alrighty.
We'll see you next week. Bye.
Take care.
Bye.